Hello and welcome to another video by me, Underzani84, and today we'll be looking at the next chapter of Super Sentai vs Super Sentai, another entitled Blues of the Broken Heart. Author's note, as promised I updated faster this one, so did I. This chapter's tone might get a little too somber, but I hope you still enjoyed it. Well, you was enjoying the wrong form of enjoy, and probably this rather jazzy music I'm playing will probably mess up the whole somber tone. This is sorta a sequel of Deca Rangers episode 37, 2, not of. And to clarify for those who don't know, episode 37 of Deca Ranger Hoji is up for promotion and he has to investigate a criminal who's stealing nutrients from girls and as well also banging his hot girlfriend. It turns out the criminal is actually the girlfriend's brother and she contracted a disease years ago. With the nutrients of what he needs to create a cure, and Hoji is almost willing to let the guy go when he starts attacking people again, and Hoji has no choice but to kill him. And he leaves without telling why, and the girlfriend decides to leave him and become a nun. It's considered one of Deca Ranger's best episodes, at least according to the writer himself. Alright, on with the chapter. As Shivalina returned to the villain's base of operation in space, she received a rain of taunting, specifically from Lamy and Gasha Dokuro, upon her failure to wipe out the Sentai of her monster. So much of that Nejire whatever, you cannot even defeat them, Lamy mocked. I was only gauging their strength, Shivalina defended herself. So, they're stuck without their mechas, whereas we are stuck without the enlarging devices or creatures. I could really appreciate Bibi Debbie's help as of now. Gazadoko is about to shoot back at Shivalina for making up excuses for her weakness. However, he also knew the deeds of Oni Baba, but the funders to enlarge yokai were not present. What a bothersome. Ah, that's true, Lamy whined as well. Usually Bandura-sama would call forth the evil spirits of earth to make the Dora monsters grow. Now that I was the only one who's plugged out of that box. Don't you mean pulled? Suddenly Lamy thought of something as her face cheered once again. I know, how about that Kibos and umbrella? Sorry babe, no can do. As if she spoke of the devil, Kiros has appeared from Palace's briefing room to answer the question. And walking next to him was Umbrella. I managed to gather some Dogla monsters to join me, mostly those who once vengeance on the masked man and a few who were formerly Zaber's minions. Not bad Okilampa, damn it. Why couldn't you get Okilampa? He's not that intelligent. Okay, Lampa? Shivalina asked curious. Perhaps it's like my BB Debbie, Tube's method of enlarging their soldiers? Yep, that's correct, Kyo says he approached Shivalina instead. I like smart girls like you. And in turn, Shivalina pushed him away. Get off me, she shouted. On the other hand, what about you, bat thing? Larry then asked the other guy who came out from the room. That's Agent Umbrella to you, Umbrella corrected. Well, I usually provided the heavy industrial machines, but ever since my return, I am unable to produce them. Well, as long as the Super Sentai did not have their mechas, implying that they do now, we still stand a chance. What the hell were you discussing inside, huh? Gasadoko got to point and asked away. And in a sudden what? A Dogla monster arrived. It was an armored monster with a cone head. Its armor was shaped as if it was stabbed with 1,000 swords.
So I often struggled
Isn't
with
to be 1,000 swords?
Once, when we had a
And what the hell is this? He asked as this monster was incapable of speech. This is what we discussed, Kira said proudly. Meet Vengeance Dogla, my type of Dogla monster. What makes it different from the regular type? And it's also at this point I just mentioned that this chapter later got used as inspiration for a filler installment of Super Sentai vs Power Rangers. Among the few changes that were made to try and make it fit in, none of which were organic. They replaced this guy with an alien named Revenger from the same species as the girlfriend and her brother, but the name he came up with was a fairly dumb one. That's all I'll say. Hey. I didn't know you were into the same gender. Shivalina mocked at Kiro's usage of words. I've lost my place. It's nothing like that. I love my women, he burst out, defending himself. Anyway, I and Umbrella discussed about possible weak points of the Super Sentai. This time, not through experience or friendship, but love. Love? Gasadoko wondered until he remembered. Oh yeah, so that's why you were dumped before, right? Kiros was silent on that remark. Gasadoko was right. You come from a love of Princess Ial even until death. Well, that maybe as your way of deducing is saying that you're going to take your iceberg away with you. Not exactly a people pleaser. And you could never win it again. So what is this about love being a weak point, Lammy asked. Don't tell me you'll strike on that. What kind of strike will it be? Based on that recording of Sen Nedre, I suppose I could fix that flaw about having a hidden weak spot. Well, I said, seriously, that was a rather damn weakness. This time when this monster possesses people, there'll be no weak spots. And they'll not set their sights to other innocents. They will target a specific people, especially the one they loved. And I'm just the perfect host of this Doppler monster. Come with me. Avella led the other forward to the briefing room as he showed an image of a seemingly normal woman who used to play musics. Musics? What? That looked like a normal human woman. Did he think she would do much against the Super Sentai even if one of them is her lover? I have no idea who said that, that's why I just did an old man voice. I have no idea why. No, looks can be deceiving, Umbrella said. I introduced her to Kiros and he agreed that she's the perfect candidate. She's a Mykian woman named Teresa. Mykian? Larry asked. You mean? Yes, alien. However, she wasn't classified as an alien either. Umbrella continues as the video showed how Hoji came into conflict with her brother Claude. While I didn't contact her back then, I heard a story that she had a short relationship with Tomasu Hoji, Deca Blue if you don't know. That relationship ended when Deca Blue shot her dearest brother down for doing a crime against humanity to preserve her life. They have never been in contact with each other again ever since. I understand now, Larry concluded. That means you want to use this Doppler so she attacks Miss Hoji for vengeance of her brother. That's correct, Kiro said, clapping his hand. Love hurts so much, and just as it hurts me, I will make the Super Sentai hurt because of love. This will be my vengeance. Against who? Neither Teresa nor Hoji have done anything to mock you. Or belittle you. Well, what are you waiting for then? Umbrella noted. Show me how this Doppler works. Watch me, ladies, Kiro says he blew a kiss to both Lammy and Shivalina and left, bringing the vengeance Doppler along. You'll be awed with the greatness of Sir Thief Knight Kiros. You're not an actual knight. That's probably just a title. Well, and also in the chapter that was inspired by this in SSVPR, we got a scene wrapping up a plot point from another chapter, which I won't spoil here, but it mostly just gave a very harsh punishment for somebody who probably deserved it, but it was even too harsh even to that. And we were pretty much informed that the author's new character was indeed the daughter of the chief, even alongside other Mary Stuish qualities. In the meantime, Teresa lived a quiet life in the earth. Did he live under the planet? After Claude's death, overcome with grief, she was unable to sing anymore and settled with a quiet life as a nun. Even when her Mykian origin was revealed, the nurse did not look down on her and accept her like normal. Her life was quiet, serene, but happy. She found something else to focus into other than clinging on to her past life. We focus on. She was sad because it was Hoji who ended Claude's life, but she came to understand that it had to be done. Hoji was a cop, Claude was committing a crime. She was content with her life as a nun, but the memories of both Hoji and Claude lingered in her mind. That's another thing. I know it's not exclusivistic or anything, but why is her name the fairly ordinary name Teresa while her brother is Claude? But a peaceful day ended. At one day when she was flying Miyabi's garden, one weird man entered. It was none other than Kiros. "Good morning, sir," Teresa, unaware of his origin, asked politely. That's not a question. That's a greeting." "Ooh, so you work here, huh? As a nun?" Kiros asked. "I think I'd like it better if you sing for me. Being a nun is boring." "Sir, what is that comment for? I'm sorry?" Teresa asked, already sensing something weird in Kiros. "I'm done with singing, but if you want, I could sing for you once." "As much as I want that." Kiros' face suddenly twisted as he suddenly drew his sickles and pushed it in front of Teresa's neck. Getting off to a good start, I see. "I have other important business, which involved your body!" "Oh God, what?" Terrified, Teresa gasped as she feared what Kiros would do to her. "What are you doing? I warn you, as a nun, I'm sworn to celibacy. You can't do this." No, it was something else, honest," Kiros said as he moved behind her back, effectively barring her way to run away. "Hey, but you can still run the other way, right? I've got someone else who wants your body, and not in that way you imagined either." Apparently, Kiros is aware as I am of the dirty implications of that line. "Vengeance Doggler!" On Kiros' call, the Doggler monster arrived, jumping in front of him and growling. All these terrified Teresa. "This is your perfect host, a woman who was hurt because of love." "Love?" Hearing that, Teresa was instantly reminded simply of Hoji. Memories of their time together slipped to her mind. She realized that this man may be trouble. "We're just friends, nothing more. Stop this. If you want to harm him..." "Well, I'm not about to harm him," Kiros said calmly. "On the other hand, you will." As Teresa gasped, as the Vengeance Doggler suddenly ran and hugged Teresa as Kiros let go of his grip. Yeah, Vengeance Doggler plus Teresa is now my OTP. As Teresa screamed in pain as the blade stuck onto her stomach, slowly the Doggler entered her body and mind, causing her to drop down on her knees. "Now then, Teresa, remember the one you loved." As the Vengeance Doggler entered the body, it gained the ability to speak. "Oh, gee," she muttered. "And remember what he did," Vengeance Doggler said. Teresa was silent. He had to spout out. "Because of him, you lost your dear little brother, Claude." Claude, she muttered further. Her face started to become devastated with the revelation. "And now you're alone and suffering because no one cares about you." The Doggler added up further. "Claude would always stay by your side, but Hoji took him away. And he called you his lover and vice versa. Deliver justice to that so-called lover. You are suffering because of him." Memories of how Decker Blue deleted Claude and her finding his body suddenly started to flood Teresa's mind. Wait, if he was deleted, why is there a body? Deletion completely erases all evidence a person existed physically. Except this time, however, as the face of Hoji was not seen, she was presented with images that Hoji was psychotically smirking behind the Decker suit. Eventually her mind couldn't take it anymore. In front of the Doggler's words, she screamed and took forth her Machian body, but her mind and actions were controlled by the Doggler. And that's what the picture is, a Machian. She ran off from the abbey. A nun sighted her as she recognised her. "Sister Teresa, what are you..." Before she could answer her, she met her end when Kiros casually stabbed her with his sickle from behind. "No witnesses allowed." "Sorry, babe." Yeah, in the chapter inspired by this, Umbrella is also along in a rather bizarre disguise. When he throws off immediately, and he vaporizes the nun. That's supposed to be the lighter thick, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, Hoji was taking May along for a patrol. Bakabe used to arrive at the city as his motorcycle was unavailable. Sato was busy with college, while Taku and Jiraiya were busy with physical training. Thus far, there hasn't been any sign of wrong things. Another thing I'll bring up Hoji's one consistent character between this chapter and it's inspired by fic. The rest of the lineup in that is Kimberly, in place of May, Jasmine in place of Chisato, Masami in place of Ace of Jiraiya, and Shinkenja Taku in place of Maskman Takaru. Taku, "Say, Hoji," just to strike up a conversation, then a boring silence, May asked, "Do you like musics?" Musics again. Music, no comment. Though I do listen to it at times. Hoji gave a short answer. "What about you?" "Oh, I do love music. Or to be exact, singing." May said. I used to sing a lot back then, before Bandora declared war to humanity. If I had to pick a favourite theme, I'd say it's about a theme that gives out serenity to the beauty of nature. That seems to be like you, May. Odie nodded. Someone who existed in medieval times. It's prehistoric, May corrected. But I can only surmise that while your lifestyle, not that I mind. It's surmise that while your lifestyle. What does that mean? Odie says he turned on the radio on the car. In the car? Yeah, I think you can hear some musics. What is this random pluralization of music from here? Oh, I know this. Radio, right? Made it cheerfully. Someone from millions of years ago he saw is adapt to technology. Hoji commented to Apsu. Not as much as your Tisato though. May hummed herself while she started humming to the radio's music while Hoji continued to drive. However, at one point the radio played something familiar to Hoji. Innocently, May started humming it, but she suddenly stopped mid-point commenting on it. It's a powerful and beautiful song, but it feels sad. However, the moment May said that, Hoji suddenly turned the radio off without warning. Oh, Hoji, what gives? Why do you turn the radio off? In the rewritten version, Kimberly is listening to this on a regular radio, and when Hoji turned it off, she just put it on an iPod. Oh, because the author loves iPods for some reason. He kept silent as he ignored May's protest. She thought he was being unpleasant like before and was tempted to forcefully turn the radio on. Then thought otherwise. She knew something was off. As he looked at Hoji's face, now May has joined the random sex change gang. She realised that his face became sour. Hoji, is something wrong? May asked in a more comforting tone. Perhaps that music was linked to something tragic to you. There was no answer from Hoji. Please tell me, maybe I can. I'm fine. Hoji cut down any further attempts to ask. May finally shut her mouth up, but her heart tingles, curious on what Hoji was thinking. Didn't take long for her to find out, and suddenly something smashed onto the car, right on the front window, shocking Hoji. What the? As he hit the brake, he dropped that something. And as he went out along with May, he recognised the form of his assailant. You're a Mikian. With no surprise, this is really a Machian, just like that Claude. Except for some reason, this one's body was covered with protruding swords. Spider's first thought was sadomasochism. State your business here. Then on your answer, Hoji started to speak until suddenly Miss Machian interrupted. Hoji. At that moment, Hoji instantly gasped. He knew that voice. In fact, it was far too familiar. Teresa. Teresa? May I ask? Hoji, did you know her? Such a nice name. Well, Hoji was speechless in answering. He didn't know what to say. Why did Teresa come? And what happened with her body? Claude certainly wasn't covered in swords like her. It's been a while, Teresa. Hoji! Without wasting further words, suddenly Teresa ran after him. Hoji knew what would happen if she got close to him, thus he instinctively dodged. Teresa, what are you doing? You know it is dangerous if that hits. Hoji called her out, but Teresa didn't care and continued running to him. Whoa, stop, we can talk this out. Teresa, no more words, this is for Claude. As Teresa shouted, suddenly shot out several electricities from her sword edges, causing explosions near Hoji. Apologise to him in the heavens are bare. Wouldn't it be in the hells down there? Claude, Hoji could only mutter. That was certainly the Machian he deleted before. Teresa's brother was trying to develop a medicine to save her from certain death, but his methods include absorbing human life forces. But the SPD gave the offer to delete him, and it became Hoji's test for the Tokyo entry. Very hard to fulfill the job, but he was too devastated with the result that he refused the transfer. You're suddenly mad about him? I know it's my fault, so... Die! Teresa shrieked. She ran forward. Some of the swords at her back suddenly vanished and were placed in front of her. She ran forward. What does that mean? This chance, however, used by May to grab her from behind and tried restraining her. Stop it, May begged. Isn't Hoji your friend? Why would you do this? Please stop. As a result of that, Teresa roared as she shoved May away. She ran to Hoji, attempting to impale him with both sword on her body, but he dodged. He had no intention to give his life away for this. Yes, however, at this point his stamina caught up to him. He'll need an extra push this. At this rate, emergency! As such, he's forced to transform into Deca Blue and continue dodging. and at times he failed to dodge, but Deca's suit provided him enough protection. However, all these only served to rile Teresa O'Hara. That suit, that look, it's the one that killed Claude. Die! What did those two? May wonders as he saw Teresa completely concentrating on Deca Blue. It's obviously a lover's quarrel, with no one in her. For a couple of moments he tried to restrain Teresa. However, as a warrior of love, May could understand that something was wrong within her. As if, a possession? Hody, listen, whoever she is, she's not being herself. What? Deca Blue asked. A possession? Like that time? It was just that time he remembered the last encounter with Sibylina, which ended with him being brainwashed by an Edgerate beast. You mean the last chapter? Now that he realised it, perhaps they improved possession system, so we need to wait until we can find a weak spot. Yes, until then, please hold on. Before May could finish that sentence, suddenly a chain sickle was thrown from behind and circled around her body. Ah! May fell down and felt like being dragged somewhere. Waiting at the end of the chain was Kiros. Oh, I've lost my place. You! How do you do, pretty babe? Kiros said, greeting her as he got her to get up. I am Thief Knight Kiros. You've dropped the sir now, and I do have to say, you're pretty cute. What does that? May knew better than and not to fall to evil's flirtations. What does that even mean? I need to find my place now. But she instantly refused to demand this. Let go of me! What have you done to Miss Teresa? Oh, why do you care so much about her anyway? Kiros taunted. I just let her follow her deepest hidden feelings. What? Before Kiros could continue, however, he suddenly jumped. He saw several shurikens thrown into the ground, nearly hitting him. As it turned out, Jiraiya was the one throwing that. You don't mean them. Arriving with Taku and Chisato. Stop! Kiros, what are you doing? Taku yelled. Let go of May now. Oh, I will. As much as a cute girl she is, and I always get what I want. Except for Princess Ial. Ayo! She is not what I want. Kiros says he dropped May to the ground, still chained. In the rewritten version, instead, he decides to be a pervy bastard towards her. He poured a small bottle of red water and drank it. Now, you see what I can do. Well, you're doing drug. So, Chisato was about to taunt him for drug usage, till he suddenly saw him pulling May at the ground with ease. Whoa, what are you doing? Kiros then started spinning his chain as May was being dragged around in a circular way. Hey, whatever that means. It's incredible. Too bad it was only last a few moments though, he said as he eventually shouted, Now take this! Crescent screw! As such, with the circular motions, Kiros released a gust of wind directed towards Taku, Jiraiya and Chisato, all covering themselves with their arms, but at the end of the wind, May was thrown into them, causing them to fall down. May, are you okay? Taku asked, and he realised that due to the crescent screw, some of their clothes were torn here and there. No implications there, and now I need to find my place. I'm alright, but please, you've got to help Hoji, May said as she got up and pointed out Deca Blue already fought against Teresa, without even lifting a finger, to attack her. What the? Why isn't Hoji attacking? Jiraiya already knew something was fishy, judging from how Deca Blue acted. What's the meaning of this? Kiros, Taku asked angrily as Kiros smirked. Good question, Taku. See, it all originated from you, Kiros boasted, which shocked him. Death of Usenda would be a great sight, but ultimately, you are the man whose death I will enjoy the most, Taku. What? Thanks to you I was unable to get Princess Ial's love, Kiros started. No, that was your own fault. Remembering that when he first died, the revived Ial paid him no mind and immediately embraced Taku. Gee, maybe it's because she doesn't even know you. As a thief knight, I always get what I want. It's because of you that my record was broken. You really don't get it, do you? Taku made a firm statement. He got up. Love isn't something that you can view like an object like that. That is why it is natural that you will never get Princess Ial's love. Before, now, or after. With personality like that, you're setting yourself up to fail from the start. Shut up! Kiros says he prepared his sickle. I will have my vengeance. In fact, I'd say I've gotten it. That guy over there. And punched Deca Blue, still fighting Teresa. I managed to make him fight because of love. You, who constantly preach about love, can suck it up and see how love ruins your realm rather than making things better. Kiros, you bastard! Taku was unable to contain his anger and see how love got perverted so much. Whatever Kiros was planning, he was the first to raise his fist and began transforming. Aura Mask! Red Mask! Once he transformed, he ran towards Kiros to attack him. Witnessing that, May also took a stand. I am a warrior of love. Like you, Taku, I cannot let this misuse of love stand. Heard you'll have a lot to say later, but for now, I must fight against this man who perverts love. Everyone, please lend me your help. You don't need to ask, Sato said as he turned towards Jiraiya, who nodded. Burst of free, prepared to transform. Dino Buckler! Super Henge! Dawn Changer! Install Mega Ranger! As such, the three also transformed and joined in helping Red Mask to fight Kiros. 4-on-1? Whatever, I feel like facing you all. As such, Kiros started fighting against the four warriors. Whether the liquid that he drank was a strength-boosting liquid, but he was able to take on all of them without having much trouble. In the meantime, however, Deca Blue still didn't dare to hurt Teresa. But he didn't have the intention of dying, he still hadn't shown any signs of attacking back. Whenever he tried so, images of him killing Claude and Teresa crying over his dead body would slip into his image, causing him to waver and took the hit instead. So that we take the hit, and unfortunately for him, the Deca suit wouldn't give him infinite protection. He nearly reached his limit, but he still managed to get back up. Teresa! Deca Blue stood as he prepared to dodge another one of her charges with the many swords on her back point to him. Is it my karma for hurting you? Wanted to dodge, but suddenly his leg did not work as he wanted, wounded with a previous attack. He suddenly found himself being a sitting duck. Oh no! Oh, Terror Ranger noticed what happened and decided to abandon the fight. Watch out! As Teresa neared Deca Blue, Terror Ranger suddenly pushed him away and took full hit of Teresa's charge. She was knocked away and demorphed on the ground as a result. May! Realizing what has happened, Deca Blue got near and tried to wake her up. May, wake up! Why are you... Oh my god! Odd, when he touched May on the stomach, he then realized that his hand became soaked with blood. Odd, I've lost my place. May must have taken quite the damage from Teresa. Thank for him while fighting Kiros, Mega Yellow spotted what happened to be able to fight, and was equally shocked to approach and encounters May. Oh no, guys, May's in trouble. This is terrible. She'll need treatment ASAP. Oh, you're not going to go anywhere, Kiros says. He still clasps two sickles with the blade of Red Mask and Ninja Black. However, it was at that point the effects of the power up vanished, and he felt weaker. His chance to use both Red Mask and Ninja Black to kick him away and they approach their friends. Damn it, Red Mask says. He also assessed to May's wounds. Simply assessed May's wounds or tended to May's wounds. At this rate, we're gonna have to retreat. Right, just leave it to me. Everyone gather around, Ninja Black said as everyone did. In response, he threw a smoke bomb to the ground, enabling them to retreat. Here, this is such an entertaining watch. Lammy, who was watching, commented when she got into a part that May was wounded. Of course, it was because her personal enemy was wounded. However, her time to watch would be interrupted by none other than Gashadoku. What are you doing here, lazing off like that? He scolded. You can talk, you're not doing anything. We're here to work on defeating those Super Sentai, not just watch, said the spoiled brat. Spoiled brat? Lammy stopped looking at the screen the moment she was called as such and glared at Gashadoku. Dare you say that again? If you're not, go whip out some of that Dora monster you boasted, he challenged. I'm currently on a deal with Agent Umbrella to find a suitable yokai to go, just in case this Kiros failed. I do not sit up my ass down and watch. As he left, he was in complete, utter distraught about someone dared insult her.
We just got to keep going.
Her.
A little bit longer. Follow the rules.
So much that he nearly punched the screen, but her fist was stopped by Sibylina. Don't take it too harshly, she advised. Perhaps you should try as he said and beat him at his own game. Make your monster and go defeat the Super Sentai once that Kiros failed. I just got a gut feeling you will. What do I do? Lammy pouted, daunted about Gashadoku hit her on a sensitive spot. She was too spoiled during her time with Bandora. Usually I did not make monsters at all. We usually leave at the Plebvicon with a special machine. Even if the machine is still here, I can't use it. Then train to use it, Sibylline suggested, tapping her on her shoulder. Obviously after Kiros, Abella and Gashadoku will try out a new monster or whatever. There should be plenty of time for you to master on its usage. Go on, or you would admit that you really are spoiled? Why is that phrase a question? Of course not, I'm going. Lauren declared as she went to her room. Inside there was the old machine familiar to her, the machine that produced golems and Dora Monster. It was now up to her to master it in quite a short time. As she clasped her hands, Lammy started working on it. Back in Bonds, everyone was in medical bay to start attending to May's wounds. Where that sentence began could not be more unfortunately worded. Hodie just sat down, unable to believe what had happened. First, May was wounded because of him, and then the perpetrator was his previous lover, Teresa. Granted, she probably would be brainwashed or something, but he had wounded her by himself with the death of Claude. Even if it was in the name of law, he was able to forgive himself for that. It was at that time the other two, Taku and Jiraiya, confronted him. What was that all about, Hoji? Jiraiya asked. You're not even fighting back. Sorry, Hoji just added shortly. It's kind of a long story. This is not getting anywhere, Hoji, Taku added. We need to know who this monster you fought was. Kira said it's related to love or something. Who is she to you? Teresa, my old lover. Hoji's answer shocked the entire room, even to Sato. Your old lover? Sato asked curiously. What's with you two? I didn't think the breaking up will end like this. Didn't we think that? No, not entirely true, I suppose, Taku corrected. There's got to be something that was tinkered by chaos. Was it the possession like what happened to us last time? I'm Sato had before, but everyone looked at her. In that case, I might learn from the essence and move that weak spot. I tried using a digicam search for him, there wasn't anything odd in that monster. Oh boy, Jiraiya said in regret. Worst comes I may have to destroy her to put an end to her misery. At the declaration, Hoji was shocked he couldn't say anything. Would he be able to kill Teresa? Now, Taku stopped wondering for a while and turned to Hoji. Think it's the best if we know the story from Hoji himself. There's a form missing there. Hara, please tell us about your experience with her. He tapped his shoulder to reassure him. He nodded and started his story. As you know, I am a space police under SBD. She was a sickly woman who had her passion in singing in bars. Despite the difference on species, we became fast friends. However, her little brother Claude didn't seem to enjoy our friendship. I just took it that he was being overprotected. At the time I was being tested by the SPD for a promotion test or sorts. I'm on the final stages, and at that time there was a criminal on the run. This criminal absorbed his young woman's life force for something, and I was assigned to delete this man. Why are you changing tense in your story? To my shock, the criminal was Claude. Turned out that he committed both crimes to develop a cure for Teresa, driven with only his love as a little brother. I was really torn between law and love, and what did you choose? Whose do I ask? I chose law. Oh, Hoji said, hanging his head. I had my duty as a Deca Ranger to protect humanity that he's killing. So when he couldn't be reasoned to turn himself in to laws and attempted to attack another human, I instinctively shot him dead. Trina just passed by and saw his dead body in front of me. I'll never forget how she cried. Even if it were the law, I could never forgive myself for making her like that. So she liked seeing you kill her brother? She's fucked up indeed. My God. Sato's eyes are tearing after hearing such a sad story. What happened next? I chose not to accept my promotion even if I was qualified. Hoji finished up the last touches of his story, and I thought I should pay Claude my respect. Amongst many alien eyes I thought, he was a certain one who wasn't evil at heart. Fate just wasn't really kind to him. I met Teresa there, but we didn't exchange any words at all. She must have been bitter to me. And that was the last I've seen her. I see, Taku nodded. Then for some reason Kyrus took advantage of that hidden feeling. How did he learn about... Never mind, I know why he can know her. Agent Umbrella! He took words out of Hoji's mouth before the latter could say the name. Judging from how Hoji described, that's the kind of thing a dark informant like him would do. It seemed to him they wanted to concentrate on the Super Sentai's destruction rather than creating mayhem in general humanity. As Sato listened, her hand was touching May's cheek, to realize that it was slightly wet. What? Shocked, she looked at May, who in her surprise, shouldn't it be to her surprise, was actually crying. May, so that's why you turned off that radio, May said lowly. It was only her eyes that cried. She wasn't sobbing at all. Because that song was Teresa's. and it brought you sad memories. I'm sorry, Hoji, I didn't know. Oh, it's fine, Hoji said as he approached her. I'm sorry, but because of me, What matters is that next time you shouldn't do that again, Taku reprimanded. Next time you need to fight with all your strength. What? Hoji yelled. I put her alive in hell thanks to killing her brother, and you asked me to kill her? Sad to say, but she has to be stopped. Jiraiya sighed with Taku in this argument. Maybe she's now targeting you, and in the hands of someone like Kiros in league the likes of Gashadokuro, once he's done with you, should probably be used to much more dangerous purposes. But what do I do now? Holt is in complete confusion. One thing he couldn't bring himself to do was add up to her suffering. Killing her would be the last straw, not out of their good memories. It was at that time he felt that May tugged his hand from behind. Hody turned to her as she said, She was suffering too. I knew. May, you don't have to kill her, she continued, but you have to find a way to save her. Might hurt her a bit, but it is for her own good. She's already suffering so much from this turn of events. She never wanted this to happen. You're the only one who can do this, Hody. Please, save her. Taku didn't say kill, right? Said to anecdote, which brought hope to Hody's eyes. Of course not. I'd rather not have her dead if I can. Taku nodded as he agreed to Sato's statement. I just said fight for all your fullest. To save her, of course. I'm sure death is not the only option. Wrong, Jiraiya insisted suddenly. It's not death is not the only option, but death is never an option. Not for someone like her. That's an even more correct term to coin it. Taku nodded, standing corrected. You can save her without killing her. You can do it, Hoji. Guys. Once again, Hoji looked at the rest. No matter how much he acted like a jerk to the rest, they still supported him in the end, encouraged him to do the right thing that went with his heart. He felt touched, but tried not to show his sadness and instead put up a grateful yet stern face. Thank you. Meanwhile, the city was in chaos. Without Hoji to deal with her anger, Teresa went on a rampage, empowered with the desires of Denton Dogler inside her to attack humanity. She attacked properties and men alike, and was at one point chasing after a fleeing man to a desolate mountain foot. It was at that time he was saved with a powerful yell. Wait! It was Hoji. His presence caused Teresa to avert her attention from that man, and Hoji just looked at him and said, No, run. The man complied and run as Hoji turned back towards Teresa. Teresa, I'm sorry. It will hurt, but I will wake you up from this nightmare. That too isn't necessary. Emergency! Stoically transformed to Deca Blue as Teresa eventually ran towards him. Once again the swords of her body were now concentrated onto her front. Hoji! This time he was ready. Deca Blue drew his D-rod and rushed forward to strike at her. She took quite the wound as she knelt down, but she wasn't done yet. She continued her strike, but Deca Blue now could fight back. No longer was he clouded with guilt, even if he still had it. No longer was he clouded with doubt. No longer was he clouded with fear of killing. No matter what, he would save her. In the meantime, while Deca Blue fought, Red Mask and the rest were hiding behind the bushes. As this fight was more personal, they chose not to interfere and instead focused on helping him find a way to save Teresa without killing her. Megeo constantly activated her digicam search, hoping that she was mistaken last time. Where did Kiros go in a time like this? Red Mask wondered. In the meantime, as Kiros had arrived back to the enemy's ace, he felt a bit uneasy suddenly. Achoo! He snoozed. That weight of you sneezing like that, Sabrina, one who greeted him, said. Must have been some girls talking about how awesome I am, Kiros replied, trying to make himself look cool. Awesome, huh? Sabrina mocked. Why do you leave her? I don't need to babysit her all the time, Kiros boasted. See, at this rate, either that she kills that Deca Blue, that first bat was unnecessary, or he kills her and became so devastated that he killed his lover. The outcome is already decided. He'll never have a clear victory. In the rewrite of the SSVPR, plan was that Hoji would become a killer after he murdered her, but his new girlfriend Chiharu would apparently reject him. So given the way the author wrote Chiharu, she'd probably be happy that her competition was out the way. As the fight continued, however, Deca Blue switched from his D-rod to his D-knuckle and resumed his fight further. At one point, however, he managed to punch away just one sword from Teresa's body. He experienced such great pain. However, at that point, he started speaking slightly more coherently for a short time. Hoji, help! That gentle voice. Teresa! Deck Blue realised that he's closing in, but Teresa was once again thrown into a fit of madness and attacked him further. Oh, I've lost my point, causing him to fight back. I could hear it. The Angel sensed that Teresa was returning to normal temporarily. Hoji, don't give up. Maybe her weak spot reveal itself if something happened, Red Mask asked. Sato, try to concentrate further and see whether a weak spot shows itself. It's nowhere in sight. Megillo, still on her digicam search mode, insisted. We need to make her temporarily sane again. Meantime, Ninja Black concentrated on looking at the fight. At that point, Deck Blue once again smashed away 2 of her swords on her body. After a great pain, she spoke normally again. Save me from this monster, Dogler. That's it, Ninja Black noticed and finally knew what was transpiring. She returned to normal for a bit of the sword is smashed away. To Sato, now. Okay. At that point, Megillo was concentrated further and she finally found something new. I found it. Looked like a weak spot might be on her. Heart? Decker Blue was shocked on hearing it. This meant a gamble. Once more mistake and Teresa's life be forfeited. Damn. This is bad. Don't give up, Hoji, Terran said. You can do it. If you likes reassuring about being perfect, then you can do it. Right, Ninja added. Show us that you really are super cool and perfect. Wanty intensely slipped into Hoji's style of bad English. It's not for flaunting or taunting, but to encourage him with his own confidence and style. Decker Blue was silent for a while until he finally said, You don't need to tell me that. As he said that, when Teresa tried to ram him with her sword, grabbed some of them, and despite being pushed away, he still held the sword. Ah! Yelling and gathering all his strength, Decker Blue spread his arms and tore away several of the swords at once, especially one that was located near her heart. At that point, Teresa backed away. As he struggled to get up, her heart started shining red and Decker Blue activated the sniper. Do it, Hoji! I'll save you, Teresa. Decker Blue said he took aim and pulled the trigger. The bullet went through Teresa's body, and it was right on mark. Teresa collapsed, she reverted to her human form. And suddenly something came out from her. Brendan's Dogler. A Dogler monster, Red Mask explained when he had the rest approached Decker Blue. I knew Kira was involved. At the same time, Decker Blue also approached Teresa and checked she's okay. It was relieved she was not dead, but her wounds are still there. Are you alright, Teresa? Is that you? Hoji, Teresa said weakly. Frankly, a shot wounded Brendan's dog greatly that he was unable to attack immediately, giving him a chance to speak. I'm sorry, I fell for it. A monster got inside me. It screamed in my mind, telling me that you were one at fault for Claude's death. Might have betrayed my feel. I did. Decker Blue said, I know you'd never forgive me. No, I forgave you. Instead, I was weak and I fell to his temptations. Teresa admitted as well. Turn me into that. I am sorry. At that point, Teresa suddenly passed out. The rewritten version puts this is at the end of the story in a hospital scene. Oh no, Teresa! Decker Blue panicked and feared that he really killed her. She's okay, Terror Ranger assured him. She's just unconscious. Who? Megillo's lead thing at. We still need to get her to be treated ASAP. Right, Ninja Black acknowledged eventually he sent up the Vengeance Dog was back in fighting shape. And first we gotta destroy him first. Thanks guys, Decker Blue said, turning toward his friend. I couldn't make it this far about you guys. Once that happened, he turned towards the monster. You dare do this to Teresa, he said, anger seeming inside him. His fist clenched while he pointed to the Vengeance Dogler. Unforgivable. Let's go, everyone. Okay. Even Red Mask didn't try to hog the leadership. They knew it's the personal matter on epic proportion for Decker Blue. On epic proportion. Whether they would first do the roll call first. Red Mask. Pursue mysterious cases. Decker Blue. Terror Ranger. May. Ninja Black. Jiraiya. Megillo. Even though we're from a different time and team. After the statement said by Red Mask is followed by Decker Blue. We are still united as one. We are Super Sentai. There was no response from Vengeance Dogler as he was unable to speak. Instead, he summoned many Umbra soldiers in response. Super Sentai met against him head-on and attacked them. As the course was clear, they then concentrated their attacks on the Vengeance Dogler. However, the sword still existed on its body, giving them trouble to attack. However, it dawned to Red Mask about what transpired during the fight when it possessed Teresa. Guys, you got to do something about the sword. Cut them down. Okay. As such, when they attacked the Vengeance Dogler, they aimed their bladed weapons, but they cut down the sword on its body, while Mega Yellow used her blade arm to cut down the swords. It got weakened until it suddenly made a dash for its final set of swords. Now concentrated to Terror Ranger, when he thought he couldn't have any cutting weapons. Really underestimate me, do you? Terror Ranger says he just cut down the remaining swords with the bow of her Terror Arrow, rendering it completely powerless. I thought that said pointless for a second. My Terror Arrow's bow is bladed. It is just as good as other swords. As the Vengeance Dogler stayed weakened, Decibel approached him. This one needs no judgment. It is obvious that its deletion will be approved. Is that so? Good. Let's finish it off, Redmask suggested. Okay, Ninja Black exclaimed as he went on first. Then cut his ninjutsu. Nimpo, rock fall. As such, tons of rocks fell onto a monster. And when the rocks continued to fall, both Terror Ranger and Mega Yellow took aim with their weapons. Terror Arrow! Mega Sling! Nightmare shot down several times to a Vengeance Dogler, hitting it along the falling rock, creating chaos within it. While it was being barraged, it suddenly stopped when Redmask already jumped in front of it with his fist ready. God's hand! With one punch, he punched the rock that was right in front of him. The monster, as the rock shattered and it was punched right on the face, knocking it away. Same time, Terror Ranger, Ninja Black, Ike and Mega Yellow put their hands together for Decibel to jump onto and leap. When Redmask finished punching, he quickly positioned himself so Decibel could land on his shoulders and jumped again, already concentrating his legs hard enough so that he did not fall. Poor Vengeance Dog could land. Decibel prepared his D-Rod ready. What does that mean? When he yelled out for slashing, blue finish! With it, Decibel slashed the Vengeance Dogler right on its chest, slashing through the party's shot. This time it was destroyed for good. But this is complete, Decibel muttered. He wasn't in the mood to even claim his usual phrase. Instead, they concentrated on securing Teresa and getting her to the nearest hospital. Oh, how is she, Doctor? Taku asked the doctor when he came out after treating Teresa. He's also equally worried as Hoji after all. Not worried, she is safe and sound, now sleeping to recover her strength. The doctor said she just needs rest and she'll be back to normal in no time. Is that so? Oh, that's great, Chisato said happily. Your efforts do pay off after all. Jiraiya added as he looked at the nearby window. It's going to be a peaceful night for Teresa. She deserved it. Wasn't that great, Hoji? May smiled at him, hoping that his mood lightened up. However, he was still silent. There was still sadness inside him. At that point, he got up and approached the doctor. Hoji? Doctor, can I visit her for a while? Alone? Huh? Sure, go ahead, the doctor said as he opened the door and waited outside. Taku nodded and gestured to the team not to disturb Hoji. It looked like a personal moment for him. Hoji approached the bed where Teresa slept. He looked at her peaceful face. He was in deep slumber. Sighing, he sat down in a nearby chair and started writing a letter. Once he was done, he put it near Teresa's bed and left the room silently. All four knew that he was terribly saddened with the current event, so he did not call him back for now. Teresa, because our relationship had made you suffer like this. First about Claude and then now. Forgive me. It's actually better if you just forget about me after all. Your life is bright, but mine is filled with danger everywhere. I will take on the danger and protect it from afar. That is the best course of action. That's why. Sleep well, Teresa. Good night. Forget about me. Dream on in your sleep, together with the stars in the sky. Goodbye. And ever, Master Hoji. Over the note, the last phrase was written in perfect English alphabets rather than katakana. Yeah, that's why I let the song play instead of reading it myself. The whole night, Hoji skipped sleeping. Just sat down inside a breathing room of bonds, too deep into the pain of separating from his lover. Even if it's for the best. The door behind him opened as Mace suddenly entered. Hoji, you're not sleeping? I'm not sleepy. Go to sleep, he answered nonchalantly like usual. Hoji, I made his approach from behind and suddenly circled her arms around Hoji's shoulders to chest, hugging him. What are you doing? I wasn't even struggling as his tone was still deadpan. Get off me. I can't, Hoji, May insisted. I know you're sad, but you didn't do the wrong thing. If it's possible, I wish that you and Teresa would be happy together. As much as it hurts you, you have to separate for her well-being. Can't leave a friend like you in anguish like this completely. Don't touch me, Holy says. His tone suddenly got even sadder as he was deeply hurt about this separation, even if he did it himself. I was about to make a joke and surprisingly the narrator did it for me. Hoji! May hugged him tighter, trying to be a psych support for him. A single tear dropped from her eyes as he felt for his anguish and sadness over love. It's alright, we're your friends. We'll be here in good and hard times. Together. Don't touch me. Even strong men cry at times. Eventually Hoji got overwhelmed with his emotions, fell onto a small sobbing and buried his face onto his hands. Seemed to be into his hands, and that in front of small sobbing was unnecessary. Never wanting to let anyone see his face, it was wrecked with tears and stands he silently cried. Couldn't even tell May to get off him anymore, letting her hug him tighter and even silently cried together with him. Hoping that her leave to her presence would comfort him that he's not alone in this world. Love can be a source of anguish with men, simply for men. However, love can also be a potent force of good when utilised properly. Overcome the anguish and fight for love and peace for the world, and keep on going. Super Sentai. Be continued. Also note, there we have it. For some reason I kind of felt Hoji was quite in the spotlight for this episode. Yeah, but kind of it is his episode. But I hope I don't run into this kind of overabundance of spotlight. No worries about romance. With characters paired, it's only for friendship. Good, because the whole time period difference would make some things. It's a bit awkward. Yeah, if you notice, I tend to make blue and pink a bit close, but it's for friendship, okay? So anyway, look forward to the next chapter. I promise that the next chapter won't be as somber as this. Toodles. I mean, yeah, but I'm not going to do any of my usual ragging. It's all the president accounts for, but it's still illegitimately a sad story, sad tale. Anyway, I'll see you next time for our next installment. Sonic in Yellow Concert.